Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 68 of Direwolf 20's Let's Play series. Boy, is my room a mess. Yeah, quite a mess as a matter of fact. I have spent a little time between last episode and this one, not a terribly large amount, just getting things kind of situated and put together so that I'd be ready for this episode where I want to change up some things. So today's episode is mostly going to be focused on reworking much of the auto sorting system that I've already got into an Applied Energistics logistics system. We're going to have to use the ME controller and a bunch of new blocks from Applied Energistics in order to get this thing working. I want to, in the end, have a nice ME terminal that I can access stuff from in multiple locations around my base. I want to have an input chest by way of ender chest right here, pulling items in, automatically pulverizing and smelting them, much the same way the current system does, just all Applied Energistics like. So we're going to have a lot of cool stuff to check out. Now, we've got a little bit of work to get that done, though. There's a few things we're going to need, and I've already started working on them. What I would like to do, though, is introduce you guys to some of the mechanics of Applied Energistics that we're going to use. So we're probably going to borrow this controller and bring it downstairs, and then we're going to hook up a few components down there just to demonstrate how everything works, and then we'll put everything together and have one giant, awesome, and really clean and concise looking system. All right, so let's get situated, and then we'll be back to show you guys exactly all the cool things that we're going to have in our Applied Energistics system. All right, be right back. So like I said, I'm going to take my nifty little gadget here, the ME controller. I'm going to take it downstairs with me. So we're going to need to make sure we've got some power down there ready to control what I want to do. So let's just, I don't even know where I want to put it. It's all just temporary, just to demonstrate to you guys how this whole system works. So we're kind of putting this stuff together as we go along. There we go. Building up, energy units 6 per tick. So just the controller uses a bit of energy to get things going, but it's okay. I've got some ME cable here. So let's see, what's the first thing I'd like to configure this guy to do? Well, I would like to have a chest where I can start storing things. So let's connect the controller to a chest and put one of those 16K storage units in it. You can see I made a couple extras between last episode and this one. Cool. Now everything's connected and working, ready to go. So we've got some cabling, we've got the controller, and we've got the chest, storing items and getting ready to do things. What I want to do is show you guys, first off, how we're going to pull items out of an input chest. For example, an ender chest. So I think what I should have first is disable the auto pulling system here that we've got in our sorting machines. There we go. Those have both been disabled, so that now when we put items in the chest, they will no longer be pulled out. Cool. Now, how do we pull items out of a chest or an inventory, or any inventory for that matter, and get them stored in an ME chest? Well, let's take a look. Upstairs, we're going to come up here, and we're going to craft a couple things. We want to first craft this guy, an ME import bus. The import bus is a specific type of cabling that can be used to pull items out of an inventory. So for this, we're going to need a sticky piston. Oh boy. So let's get one of them. Should have a piston. Do I have... Oh, right. No controller. Ha! Awesome. I look forward to the point when the system is done being built because it will mean no longer jumping through chests and trying to find stuff. So, going to go ahead and make some of this stuff. Cool. Awesome. Looking good. Let's then now grab our sticky piston. And what else did I need for the import bus? I need an interface block. For this, we're going to need another one of those conversion matrix guys. So, I got a few of them. Can't hurt. And we'll go ahead and make our interface like so. Let's make sure that we only have one of these made. Gonna need a little bit of that ME cabling. And what am I short on? Iron or glass here? Iron. Cool. Here we go. Iron ingots. Oh, out of power. Once the power is drained from this, it's no longer accessible, so let's temporarily hook some up so that this thing can be accessible again. There we go. The downside of requiring power to store your items. So just keep in mind that if you don't have enough power for stuff, you're going to be in trouble. And now for the import bus. Boom. And just a piece of cabling there gets us our import bus. Nice. So what's this guy do? Well, don't worry, I'm about to show you. So let's come over here and run some cabling like so. I'm just going to get it hooked up to the ender chest. And we'll hook up the ender chest's import bus like that. Cool. What's going to happen is you'll notice that it's slowly but surely pulling cobblestone out of the chest and throwing it into the nearest available inventory that will accept cobblestone. In this case, the ME chest is happy to accept it because it has enough item types available and enough storage available. So the ME chest is going to slowly but surely pull items out. That's a lot slower than a sorting machine, though. It doesn't pull out stacks at a time. Or does it? It can open up the interface by right-clicking on the block, and you've got a couple different options. You can change redstone mode here to be always active, active without signal, or active with signal, or once per pulse. So a bunch of different redstone options. You can make this thing completely interact with redstone. And you can move it in stack mode. You can change it from single items to stacks of items. Nice. So we throw a stack in there, and boom, it's output directly. Now, you can also see, if you look real close, there's a little bit of a blip as items are quickly sent down the tubes and into this guy. Cool. So everything's being set up and sent down the line. So that's the first step, is being able to pull items, or in this case, stacks of items, out of a chest. Okay, so step one, get items out of the ender chest, complete. Now, of course, this is all temporary, so don't worry about it too much. We're going to go ahead and get these items out of here and store them right here now. Cool. Now, if we wanted to, say, do something with these blocks, well, we're going to need kind of the opposite of the import bus. So let's go upstairs and see what's required next. Oh, it's nighttime. Better sleep. I hate zombie sounds. For this, we're going to need an export bus. So for this, we're going to need a regular piston and another one of these ME interface blocks. Okay, so let's get 1, 2, and export bus. I know I have pistons next to me, so I'm good to go. Export bus will export items out of the system. So import bus will import items into the logistics network, whereas an export bus will export items out of the logistics network. So for example, if I wanted to say, start cooking things up with a powered furnace, that shouldn't be too big of a deal, right? Let's try it out. All we got to do is connect up an export bus right here. Now, unlike the import bus, you have to specifically tell this item what to export from the system. So with the import bus, we can just throw cobblestone in there, and we're not worried about it. Where's it going to go? It's probably going to land right here in the ME chest. Because the import bus doesn't have any item filters. I could, for example, put stone bricks in there, and if stone bricks are in there, it won't import cobblestone, or anything else for that matter. It will only import stone bricks. So if I put a stone brick in, boom, that's going to be pulled through, but the cobblestone won't be. But if you have an empty set here, it'll go ahead and pull out everything. Okay. Export buses, though, need to have something in there to tell it what it can do. Now, I'm going to change the configuration of the powered furnace and say that you can import items from the right side. And I think this will work, but we're going to find out in about a second whether or not this happens or not. All I got to do is configure this guy to accept cobblestone. Boom. And what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and throw cobblestone in there, one at a time. Cool. Of course, I can switch it to stack mode, and boom, it's going to throw an entire stack of cobble in, and it'll do its best to keep that full. Cool. So you can see as it's smelting items, it's going to keep the cobblestone filled up in there. Awesome. So all we got to do if we want to have this set up is use import buses and export buses. And we can basically set this thing up to do whatever we want. Now I'm going to get the cobblestone out of here. And note that it's not going to automatically pull cobblestone out of the powered furnace. It's going to leave what's in there. But I'm going to snag it right now anyway because I don't want it, doing things. Cool. So we've got a few sorting and filtering things going on here. We got to now take a look at how we can automate some of this. So let's come down here. No longer am I really going to need any of this stuff. What I will need, however, is 3 import buses and probably a few export buses. So let's go get what we need to have happen. Alright, so I made myself 3 each of the export and import bus. Let's see what kind of nifty tricks we can come up with. So what I'm going to do here, okay, you ready for this, is set up the pulverizer. Okay, we're going to set these guys, we're going to import, we're going to export, okay, from the pulverizer. And if you want to rotate these things, which you can do, you're going to want to find a wrench of some sort. So if I grab just my Buildcraft wrench or my Applied Energistics, or Applied Energistics does have its own wrench called the quartz wrench, but I'm going to go ahead and just use the crescent hammer. This should work, I think. There we go. You can rotate things in the direction that you want them to be facing. Cool. Now we'll run some cabling. So I'm going to run this straight over to here. And remember that all logistics systems interact with each other perfectly. So you don't have to connect things in any particular order, in any particular way. Just know that they'll connect together just fine. Okay. So now we're set up with export buses. All right. We can tell these export buses what items to go ahead and stick inside the pulverizers here. Nifty, right? So if we were to, for example, grab some cobblestone here and say, hey, put all the cobblestone that you possibly get right in here. That'll happen. Okay. Now what's going to happen is it's going to quickly, slowly but surely, one item at a time, because I still have it in single mode, throw it into the pulverizer. The pulverizer is going to turn it into sand, and the sand is going to get turned into glass. Now what I'm going to do to make this extra cool is break all these things. See you later, guys. We're going to set up an import bus on the top here. So let's start flying for a second. And 2, 3. There we go. And we can just rotate this stuff downwards. There we are. That looks pretty good. Okay, good. What I'm going to do then is connect this cabling to here. It doesn't really matter where. I could have connected to the same cables over here. It doesn't matter. But we're just going to basically say, hey, import anything from this inventory straight out into the logistics system. And it should work. We're going to find out, though. We might have to switch this to this mode here. Yeah, we do. Okay, so to change it to import mode, you want to treat it kind of like a red power item, where you don't tell it any colors. Remember, orange is going to automatically try and shove an item into an inventory, whereas this mode just says, like, hey, just make it available. Okay, cool. And now all of our glass is being, made here. So I just basically made a system that can automatically turn cobble into glass. We take any cobble that we want to throw into the input chest here, for example, you, and that'll quickly be sucked into a buffer storage area here. And any cobblestone available will start to get thrown into the pulverizer, just a little bit at a time. Okay, and the pulverizer we can switch into stack mode here if we want, and we'll just keep it full of cobble at all times, and it'll constantly stay full until it runs out of cobble, at which point it'll stop making glass. So that's a basic idea of what we want to do. So instead of cobble and glass, though, we want to tell these things how to deal with ores. So basically, anything in this here area that I would have sent to get macerated or turned into whatever, I'm going to go ahead and put in the buffers so that they can be turned into the appropriate ores. Make sense? Nice. Now the next module I want to introduce you guys to is called the disk drive, the ME disk drive. All right, this guy is crafted like so. Let's go ahead and get him set up here. So I want to get a disk drive. So there we go. Okay, we're going to need 2 of you, and we're going to need a chest. Let's see, how am I for wood? Not the best. Any wood in any of these inventories? Yeah, I could snag some of that. And again, out of power, so just, oh well, I'll live. We're getting there. Almost to the point where I can start putting all this intelligent stuff together. Alright, so what am I short on down here? Glass of all things, hooray. Luckily, I've been making that down here. Just snag a stack, please. Cool. There we go, ME disk drive. These things are awesome. That's all I have to say about that. The disk drive, if we come down here, and you know what? I'm going to need actually this thing. So, gotta borrow you. Thank you. The ME disk drive is basically a multi-chest. I'm going to put them right there. Oh yeah, that's cool. Now the ME disk drive is going to go ahead and turn up your power usage just a bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about it because it can store multiple storage units. Now the downside to the disk drive is you cannot access what's inside the storage units directly. So if you've got any items inside the storage unit, you can see here we've got 1 disk in the drive. You cannot in any way access those items inside this interface. However, you can access it with the access terminal. So placing an access terminal down and boom, you've got access to your items again. Perfect. So I've currently got a system upstairs of a bunch of ME chests that are storing all kinds of interesting things, but you know what? I don't need them to be. I could have all these items on the different drives stored, in a disk drive. Cool. I'm all about that. So let's hook it up. What I want to do is just basically take these items out. Now I've got a mess of cabling down here, and by a mess I mean a huge mess of cabling. I don't really want a giant mess down here, so I'm going to clean up most of the cabling that we've got and try and clean this up and make it look nice and fancy. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to be doing a little bit of aesthetic work. I'm going to be moving items out of here. So basically anything we want to have processed by the smelting and pulverizing, we're going to go ahead and throw in over here. And we're probably also going to need to set up some exports for the extractors, because we do need to consider our rubber wood and sticky resin production. All right, so we're going to want the export and imports for that to happen. All right. Now, everything else, for the most part, I don't think I need to worry too much about how it gets routed. Okay, so everything can kind of go wherever it wants, and that's all going to land here in the ME disk drive. And if I ever start running out of space or need more storage, I can just craft a few more of these storage modules, and we'll be good to go. Eventually, I might need a second disk drive even. It depends how many items I have up there in my chests, because remember, you can only hold 63 units. Now, I won't have like the nice clean format that I had upstairs. So if we come up here for a second, I will not have all the metals in one disk drive and all the other stuff in the other drives. That won't be as clean anymore, but I'm not going to worry about it because all of my access will be done with the ME access terminal. So like I said, I'm going to go take care of this, and then I'll be back in a few minutes to show you guys a nice, clean, organized system. All right, guys, so here goes nothing. I've cleaned up the temporary setup that I've got over here, and I'm just going to start, knocking out some of all this stuff that's around here. It's, just a ton of things. Wow. It's a massive amount of moving around. I'm not going to break this sorting machine just yet because it's got all the, stuff inside of it. But we'll get there. Let's see. Wow. I'm breaking down a lot of infrastructure here. I hope this whole build works. That would not be cool. I'm sure it'll be fine, though. So, yeah, I'm having fun knocking all this stuff apart. I just wanted to give you guys a quick status update on where I'm at with it. But I'll probably be back in a minute here once I've kind of finished up everything. I don't think I even need this guy anymore. I'll probably do away with him. Yeah, we'll probably want to all this junk that I'm collecting here to store in here for the time being. I'm going to have to hook up this system pretty quickly, though. Yeah, this is going to be pretty compact, I think, in the end. All right, more breaking things apart, and I'll be back in a few. All right, I've mostly cleared out some of the stuff here, but there's still a lot to clear out. But what I want to do is get started working on the setup for this thing. So let's put down our controller, probably, where is my controller? Did I put it in here? There it is. Probably like right here. That's what I'm thinking. So we can even just stick this guy right there. Nah, I don't like you facing that way. I want you facing this way. There we go. Controller's ready to go. I'm going to run all the cabling as much as I can behind the walls here because we really don't need to see it. So we'll make it nice and purdy-like. I can just connect it out the back here. So run some cabling out and we're ready to get this thing rolling. So let's dig our way across over to here. And this kind of probably already exists a bit, but I want to make sure it's, well lit back here and easy to follow for you guys to see where I'm coming from. So where do we probably want to go? Probably back here, because we can't put covers on these things, unfortunately. Oh, okay, I've got all the power system back here. All right, good to know. I'll probably then want to hook up like this. Let's see. Probably through the bottom here. Yeah, that sounds good. And then we'll lay out stuff like this. Probably want to connect up here, and we'll also want to connect up here. That'll do. And then we can just run this straight back here. Cool. Awesome. Now, as for item storage, well, that we're going to want to stick pretty nearby. I'm thinking we'll probably just put our disk drive right here. And we can place our disks inside. Okay, now I'm going to go upstairs and get all the disks that are in the chests up there. So let's clear them out as well. So we've got plenty of cool disks here that can store all kinds of good stuff. We're going to take them out, and you can see all my systems shutting down, indicating the fact that there's no storage in them. And we can just sneak right back downstairs somehow and store all this stuff right here. So I might at some point want to clear out this 1K of storage. It's really kind of silly that I even have it in there, but it's okay, no big deal. So we've got our disk drive populated. We've got our controller units are online. Let's bring up a interface. So let's go up here, and if we're getting close to having like a successful build here. I'm getting a little surprised. This is going to be awesome in the end. Let's hook it up. Where do we want this thing to go? I'm thinking maybe back here. Or somewhere along these lines. Want it kind of hidden, you know. Do as good a job as I can hiding stuff. But basically I want it to be able to connect straight up through there. So we could probably do with something like this, maybe. Alright, turn off this jump assist. It's easy to have a trouble with the jump assist. Where does this lead to? Oh, that's not a good place either. Where do I want to put this thing? Alright, so here's a wild stab at it, but let's try putting it down here. Right there. That ought to do. So we're going to see it a little bit, but at least it'll mostly be behind the scenes. Cool. Now we'll probably just want to run this straight along the back here. So we can probably have it follow the same path as this thing. We will need to eventually connect up with this guy, so let's... Probably going to need a lot more of this cabling here. I'll get some in a minute. Yep, be right back. Need to make more. Alright, just finished setting up the Applied Energistics cabling here. It's all connected. Everything should be cool. Let's go upstairs and see what happens. Can I access my items? I can! Nice! Look at that! All my stuff's there. Awesome. Now, as for the importing module, we're going to want to hook this up to the chest right over here. So let's see. I'm thinking I might want to even like pick this ender chest up and move it somewhere a little bit friendlier. So let's grab my gravity gun here. Gravity gun. I'm going to move this thing out of the way. That's the thing that has all like the paintbrushes and everything in it, remember. Let's just move this guy. Thank you. Right up about, I don't know. Could put it right here if I wanted, couldn't I? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Cool. Look at all this mess I have to clean. So let's put the import bus around here somewhere. Ah, I see how it is. Okay. Import bus, where'd you go? There it is. Nice. So we'll put this guy right here, connected to that, and we'll run our cabling straight over like so. Want to make sure it's somewhat well hidden, but not, you know, completely nuts. There we go. Nice. So now if we check, everything should start to get pulled out of here. And if we come over here, we should see the export buses are exporting all the ore and whatnot into our furnaces. And we're starting to already smelt and take care of everything. Awesome. So you can see I did configure the export buses, just put all the different types of ore in here, and we basically say, hey, any ore that enters the system anywhere, be it already inside of a storage unit or anything like that, go ahead and just pulverize and smelt it. And then it gets sucked out and sent back into the disk drives. Nice. That is pretty awesome. Wow. That is really cool. We still have a little bit of work to do with the extractors to try and get rubber and whatnot into them, but that won't be too big of a deal, I don't think. I don't even need these guys anymore. Alright, so what I'm going to do is spend a little time cleaning up, because I think, in all honesty, we've got a pretty solid system here. Now, I do want to make sure all my items are stored in the logistics network of Applied Energistics. So give me a few minutes here. I'm going to need to spend a little time cleaning up. But I think in the end it's going to work out pretty nicely. And I think what I'm also going to do is something along these lines. I don't need gravel in there. So anything I throw in here, by the way, is going to automatically... Oh, right, we have to set this guy to export like this. That way, things are good. Cool. And the same thing here. Okay? Nice. So now everything can pull out properly. And this thing is also pulling out properly. Good. Okay. Pulverizer's doing his job. Well done. Going to go ahead and cook up some smooth stone just so I can make this area look somewhat good. Alright, I am going to be back in a minute here. Are you guys like stuck or something? Why aren't you pulling this stuff out? Oh, I know why, because it's still configured to pull one item at a time, not stacks. Stack mode, please. There we go. Much better. Okay, so now everything will get pulled out in stack mode, and that's going to work perfectly for us. Beautiful. Look at how awesome that is. Alright, like I said, back in just a few minutes here. Alright, so I've mostly cleaned up the downstairs here, as you guys can kind of see, and I'm throwing everything into my ender chest. Debating, however, if the speed at which it pulls stacks out is enough for me right now. Like, the sorters pulled them out quicker, but I'm pretty sure if I want to, I could put like maybe 3 or 4 of these import buses, you know, one on each side of the ender chest that would pull out, you know, pretty quickly at that point. So we might wind up doing that eventually, but for now, everything seems to be sorting pretty well. I think a good test here might be just to flip this lever for a second and let things run. So I'm gonna, you know, just one flip of the lever should make 1 cycle run of my quarry machine. At least I think that's how it'll work. Hey, there we go. Cool. So everything should come through here pretty much solid. It's going to do like 1 line of quarrying. Look at that. Nice. So you can see it's definitely not pulling fast enough, you know, out of the chest. The chest is not being emptied quickly. We're going to have to manage that just a little bit. I'm not too worried about that, though. We can come up with something there. Don't worry. But for now, it looks like it's doing exactly what I want it to do. It's grabbing all the stuff, and the iron and the tin and the lead should also all get automatically sent over here to smelt. Now, anything that like it doesn't have room to put stuff in, don't worry. It's going to get stored, you know, upstairs over here. If we come up here, I don't know if I'll get there quick enough. Probably not. Still not used to flying around in the power suit's armor. But, you know, let's see. Ore. Oh, yeah, we've got a bit. But, yeah, it didn't really catch up. So, basically what will happen is the storage units here will kind of keep a hold onto the ore, and it'll eventually make its way in. So we've got a bit of a messy house to clean up here, but pretty soon I should be able to fill this whole thing up. Now, I didn't cook up some smooth stone, so let's do that. Hey, there we go. Smooth stone. And I might as well get some marble brick while I'm at it. Oops. Cool. And we're going to kind of clean this place up a little bit. I want to make this look nice again. Now, I do want to do some things with these chests and all the stuff that's in there, but we'll get to that probably next episode, because we're getting a little bit short on time here for doing anything along those lines. But I'll be back in a second once I tidy up some of this house and whatnot. And I really don't even need these guys anymore. We'll probably use them for something down the line, don't worry. But for now, I don't think we really need them. Oh yeah, look at that, nice. And then I think I had some bricks ready to go too. Fancy, right? Look at that, awesome. Our storage room is no more. There we go. Cool. So, yeah, look at that. That is nice. We processed an entire line from our quarry. I do have a lot of cleaning up to do down here, but don't worry, I'll get to that. Oh, look, one of my inventory slots got pretty full. It's the ME1K storage. Pretty much filled itself up. That's what that orange light means. It's got a full inventory. Can't really fit much else in the way of items. Not a big deal, though. There's plenty more we can do with Applied Energistics, by the way. We've only really begun scratching the surface. There's auto crafting, there's level emitters, there's crafting terminals, there's all kinds of awesomeness. We're definitely going to want a crafting terminal, probably like real soon. But, you know, we've still got a few more things to sort out on our sorting system before we finish up and start playing with all the really cool toys. Unfortunately, though, guys, we have hit the old wrapping up point. So what I'm going to do between this episode and next is I want to make sure, how much power are we using, by the way? 30 units. All right, we're getting there. I want to cover up the walls in this area, tidy some things up a little bit. We'll probably also want to get my inputs going into these guys, the extractors, so that any resin and rubber, I've actually stored it over here, so I'm ready to put it in that slot when I'm ready, can get sent in that direction. The other stuff we're going to want to do, well, there's a lot. Next episode we'll probably be back. I'm going to clear out my chests upstairs, and I'll show you how I plan to do that. Should be pretty quick and easy, not too worried about it. Might also make a couple more of the input things for here, or the input modules, so that we don't have to worry about how slow it seems to be pulling items out of ender chests, because there's no way the system's going to keep up with my mining quarry at this point. We got to, speed that up a little bit. But like I said, we've got plenty more to do for here. Then once our Applied Energistics system is done, we can start playing with some of the auto crafting potential of the mod. It has some really cool stuff you can do with it. But for now, like I said, we do have to get wrapped up. So Direwolf 20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed episode number 68. And I'll see you all next time when we're ready to start messing around with some more of this awesome logistics system. All right, guys, take it easy.